You're welcome to Olives. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Olivia, and in this video, I'm going to share with you guys how to cut and sew an asymmetric overbust corset. So, do keep on watching and stay subscribed. So, without wasting much time, let's get right into this video. First off, I went ahead to cut my patterns and added half-inch allowance round. It's an asymmetric bodice, right? So we need the full bodies at the front and the back as well, depending on how you drafted it in the last video. I'll put the link in the description box, okay? So I just cut all of them and added allowance. I did same to the back, added zip extension to the back, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out this corset mesh, and I use that on the lining of my bodies. I actually cut it exactly as the bodies, but the best thing to do, which you are going to do, is to cut the corset mesh without allowance, okay? So what you do is, after cutting without the allowance, you use a hemming gum, okay? Cut and just lay it along the bodies, each of the bodies, okay? So you are going to place this hemming gum along till you get to at least the side, okay? And then you go ahead and place your cut corset mesh onto your lining, okay, the bodies that will be the lining, and then you go ahead and steam press, okay? You steam press it so it sticks together with your lining. So that is how I went about my bodies. I did this to only the front bodies, okay? We want the bust corset effect to be on only the front. The back is just with interfacing. Yeah. Just forgot this. I fuse interfacing on both the lining and the main piece. Okay, so we have the left side and the right side of the back as well as the front. So I'm going to pick each sides of the front and also one of the center one like this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and notch the under bust. After notching, I just placed them together and went ahead to stitch it in place. After doing this to one side, I'll also go ahead to do that to the other side, but I'll go ahead to notch around the curve area as well as the underbust. And you could see that I went ahead to trim off my corset mesh along the stitched area. This is because I added allowance to the corset mesh, okay? Hence, you do not need to do that. So this is how it looks like after stitching. It already looks like we added bone, but it's just corset mesh. So I'm just going to go ahead and press the seams open. This is the main piece. I'm trying to repeat the same thing to the main piece. Please be sure to note that the corset mesh shrinks when you use the heat or when you use steam. So be careful however you go about it while fusing onto the lining, okay? With my bra cap, I located the center of both the top and the down of my bra cap. Also trim off part of the seam line so it doesn't show too much. And I'm just going to start from the underbust this way. Okay, I'm going to pin it, pull out any excess along the cap area so it lies nicely, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin that down as well. So whatever I do to this side, I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing to the other side. Locate the center, start from the underbust, pin it in place, and just try to pull off any excess and pin the top part of your cap as well. The next thing we are going to do is to tack the bra cap to the main piece, okay? So I'm going to use the joining allowance, which is half inch, which I've actually trimmed off. That is what I'm going to use to tack the bra cap to the main outfit. Okay, so this way it's not going to show at the right side, but on the wrong side we've actually tacked it down. Okay, so there are different ways you can decide to join your dress or your bodice, but I'm going to pin main piece to main piece, lining to lining. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the back bodies by the side together with the front right side facing, and I'll repeat the same thing to this side. I added about 1 inch side seam allowance, so after pinning I'll head to the machine and stitch 1 inch. Okay, so here is how it's going to look like. I'll grab the other one as well, which is the lining, right? I'm going to pin it by the side and stitch at the top part of the overbust corset. I went ahead to also attach a bone from the edge of the neckline. I came down about 3/4 inch. I went ahead to stitch the bone, and this I stitch on both sides. While doing this, I made sure to also exclude about more than ½ inch away from the armhole area, as well as excluding the side seam, just as you see it. I went ahead to also stitch more bone to one side of the asymmetric bodice, which has the armhole. Okay, this way it will stand nicely. Next, I'll go ahead to place my two bodies, both lining and main piece together, right sides facing. I'll make sure to align all seam lines. I mean the side seam meeting, the center front seams also meeting. And as I match them together, I'll pin as well. I'm going to start my stitching from the off part of my asymmetric. Okay, so I'll go ahead and stitch ½ inch round like this and stop right here where the armhole starts, and this is how it looks like after stitching. After stitching my ½ inch allowance, I went ahead to trim off excess. I notched and then I understitched. Also added some hemming stiff to the part I stitched. Okay, so now after doing that, I'll flip it back right side facing and now stitch where the armhole starts. Okay, I'm just going to pin, meet the seams, the side seam, and then all I'm going to do is go ahead and stitch the same ½ inch round this way. After stitching, you should also have something like this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and trim off excess and also notch around the armhole area. Okay, then I'll go ahead and also attach some of the hemming sleeve or gum while under stitching. Now while under stitching, I'm going to make sure I under stitch until I get to wherever I can under stitch no more. I don't know if this even makes sense. It means that you can never really under stitch up to the armhole area, so wherever you can reach, just stop right there. Okay, so after doing that, I went ahead to turn it inside out. So yeah, this is how neatly it looks like, and this is how the top part, which is the asymmetric overbust corset, also looks like. If you want it pointed, whatever method we went through, you use the same method. Okay, the next thing I believe is to attach whatever you want to attach to your bodies, whether a flare skirt like me, a fitted, or a trouser. So this is my, I went ahead to attach pockets to the side seam. I've located the center of my flare skirt. I'm also going to locate the center of my bodice. And after doing this, I'll go ahead and match the center together. I made the flares in such a way that I have some kind of excess. Okay, so I'm going to use the excess to make some pleats. Okay, so what I did now is to pin the center and also pin the side, and then whatever excess I have between the center back and the side, I'll pleat it this way, and then go ahead and pin it in place. Whatever excess I have within the center front and the side as well, I'll repeat the same process to it. So whatever I just did to one side of my flare and my bodies, I'll repeat the same thing to the other side. Again, on this side, I'll pleat just like this, pin it in place. I would also match the center back of the skirt to the center back of the bodice this way and also pin it. I have little excess here. I'll go ahead and pleat that as well. Yeah, so that is how I went about mine. I'll head over to the machine and stitch with 1/2 inch allowance through to the other side. So after doing that, this is what it also looks like, joining the bodies to the flare. Now I'll go ahead and match the center backs together, and then I'll go ahead and stitch press, and I'll unpick my stitch. Definitely has to be a basting stitch. Then I'll have my crease line to fix my zip. At this point, it is optional, but I would like to add a strap to both sides of my bodice. Okay, so this is a strap that I've stitched. I'll go ahead to turn it inside out with my loops. From this side, the bottom side, I'll insert my loops and grab from where I notched. Okay, and then just go ahead and pull that out easily. You can as well do this with a safety pin, okay, or bunch of threads together. So this is how it looks like after turning inside out. The lower side of my asymmetric will take 15 inches. It has to be longer, and then the shorter one will be 14 inches, both with allowance, okay? Half inch allowance. You have to measure yourself or probably put on the dress to know how long the strap is going to be. You can also definitely do without the strap, okay? Now this is how it looks like after stitching or fixing my zip. So this side is the lower side of my bodice, okay? I'll place my strap right beneath, okay, at the wrong side, allowing 1/2 inch allowance on the strap and following the center seam line. That's the stitching side. And what I'm going to do is to just stitch the strap following the center seam line. Okay, I also located where I want my strap to be on the back. Okay, and then I also pin that, allowing 1/2 inch allowance. That's for one side. On the longer side, I decided to shift the strap close to the armhole area. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and pin it in place. I'm also making sure that I am aligning the strap nicely. I mean, make sure it doesn't twist before you place them together. Okay, I also made sure the distance I have on both sides of the center back where the strap will be located are the same. So this is what I have. um After a month of sewing this dress and ready to wear, it couldn't fit me so well, especially around the bust area. I gained a little weight, so you could see that the back of my dress has some kind of V shape. That was not what I drafted. You may call this a DIY. I wanted more room around my bust area, so I just folded part of the bag down and tacked it in place. So I really hope you enjoyed watching and learning with me. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do subscribe to the channel if you are yet to. Do make sure you turn on your notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.